If you can make it past the first 5 years, you will find success. It's not guaranteed, but most that make it 5 years find success. Well, why is that? Why is failure found in expectations? Why is that our stumbling block? When we're a kid and we go to our first practice of whatever it may be, it might be piano, it might be sports, baseball, it might be singing, something along those lines. But you go to that first practice and your expectation or your thoughts are, I wonder if any of my friends are going to be here. I wonder if I'm going to know anybody. I'm nervous about that. You're not nervous about, can I catch the ball, hit the ball, run to the bags. During practice, you're thinking about the fun you're having, the laughter you're having with friends and coaches. You're not thinking about, am I going to make the major league? I don't sit down at the piano and try to play a full recital the first time I sit down or dream of playing in Carnegie Hall. So where in our life do expectations become that reality breaker for us to feel failure way too quickly? Let's get into that. So you sat down, you went to that practice, you had fun, you came back, you told your mom and dad about all the people you knew or didn't know or who you met and who you think could be a friend and how the coach was funny and different things like that. You didn't come home and go, I couldn't hit the ball, I couldn't throw it to first base, I couldn't do any of that. That wasn't what was going through your mind as a child. So why as an adult have I bought 3 guitars and not made it past 1 month playing any of them? Sold them, gave them away, gave up on it because my expectations were I could be able to play a song after sitting down for 2 or 3 times. Yeah, maybe I made a chord, but I could never turn chords into a song. So I gave up. My expectations were way too high. And that's what we do with any new venture in our life. We give up way too early or we never start. We live in a world of instant gratification. We've got our phones on us, so when there's a question about something, we look it up, right? The corporate grind is, it's no longer 9 to 5. You leave work at work and you go home. Work's always with you. It's always in your pocket. You can always be reached. A text message comes in, you want to reply to it instantly. So our expectations is to accomplish something way quicker than what it should realistically take. And when we're a kid, we don't have those, so we don't stumble on those. They are hurdles we jump over. But as an adult, the hurdles become brick walls, and we don't break through those brick walls. We back away from them. And the more we back away, the bigger it gets, the thicker it gets, and we walk away. And that's what expectations create. This is where the wise Ted Lasso comes into play. We've got to be a goldfish. 10-second memory. Forget about it, move on. Be the happiest person you can be. Don't dwell on those hurdles you tripped over, the brick walls you ran into. We got to move beyond that. And the only way we move beyond that is to quickly forget about it. So what finally worked for me? What finally allowed me to be in this place that the layoff didn't disrupt my entire life? It was trading. And why was that? Because I went into it with the right expectations. It was COVID. The stock market was kind of going crazy. We had that big sell-off and then it just out of nowhere rebounded. And it got my mind thinking of, well, they talk about year-over-year returns historically are at 7%. And I think that's a false number nowadays, but that's how you would think of the stock market. But I was looking, the stock market would go up by 15-20% in a year. So why are you averaging 7%? Well, it's the years it doesn't. It's the years that it goes down by 10-15%. And I thought, well, why can't I cut out those years? There's got to be a way to cut out those years, right? But they say there's no timing the market. So I started looking into it and I found this thing called swing trading. And swing trading appealed to me. It was, you're not day trading, you're buying and you're holding stocks, but you're essentially buying them not at the lows, but lower, and you're selling them not at the highs, but higher. So I set out on this path. I started researching it like I do, and I found out that 85 to 90% of swing traders fail. It's like, well, that's not very promising. Why do I want to do this? But I kept reading, and this one comment started coming over and over from just different sources. It was, if you can make it past the first 5 years, you will find success. It's not guaranteed, but most that make it 5 years find success. Well, why is that? Because most people don't put in the time, the research, the education to get where they need to be. You can open up a brokerage account. You can go buy a stock today. You can sell it again today. So you really don't have to have any knowledge outside of how to work the software that you're selling and buying and selling with. So reading this, I was like, okay, my goal is to make it 5 years. My goal wasn't to become a millionaire. My goal was to make it 5 years, because if I can make it 5 years, I will find success. So all of a sudden I started with this expectation that was 5 years. So I didn't need to press to learn it by tomorrow. Why is it when we pick up something new, we forget how we even got to this place in our life? If you went to college, if you went to a trade school, that took you 2, 4, 8 years, who knows how long, but you didn't learn whatever you're doing overnight. You didn't learn what you're doing by paying money and then flipping a switch and it was on. It took time to get there. Once again, we go back to our childhood. It took time to get proficiency in whatever that may have been. The arts, a sport, it took time. As an adult, we don't want to give it time. We want that instant gratification. So my swing trading journey, I got into it, found a little success. I'm like, I'm going to beat this 5 years. I press, fall on my face. But I never exhausted my funds that were in my trading account. I stayed alive for the next day, for the next trade, with 5 years in mind. That 5th year was 2025. This happened in 2026. That's why I was ready and set up to be able to do that this year. Would I say I'm a great trader? No. Am I making money hand over fist? No. Do I see that happening tomorrow? No. But it's to where I can survive without my weekly paycheck. And that's where I want you to get. What is that thing that you could possibly create that would replace your income and allow you to survive? Next time, let's talk about how we build that foundation to survive. So this was a quick one. I'm going to start making them more quick. I would rather engage, love you, for you to drop a comment down below. What is the thing you remember when you were a kid that you absolutely loved, or maybe even still love? But think back to that first time you did it. Were you where you are today? Love to hear about that. I'd also love to hear, what is your dream? What is your aspiration? How do you want to make an additional income? Drop that in the comments. The more comments I get, the more interaction we have, the better I know where to take this channel for you. But in the meantime, I'm going to take it where I believe it needs to go, where my head has been in the past. And hopefully you find this helpful. If you do, hit like and subscribe. Have a great day.